How can water reach poor upland communities by using only natural energy? How can the poor borrow working capital for their livelihoods from the bank? How can blindness be prevented in just 5 minutes? Solutions, 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 not just from technocrats or rocket scientists, nor from the power of politics or wealth. They are uniquely Asian solutions, solutions that come from ordinary men and women with extraordinary insight, vision, and spiritual courage. In rural Thailand, affordable and medically sound prosthetic limbs are now available for amputees while they wait. The prosthetics are also custom fitted so that there is a farmer's foot for use in wet, slippery fields, and even a foot for wearing flip-flops. The prosthetic limbs are also brought to the patients directly through the mobile clinics, thus reaching more patients and countries, including Malaysia, Laos, Myanmar, and Indonesia. Through this solution, not only do the amputees walk again, they are able to regain their productivity and self-esteem. In 1986 in the Philippines, the power of the people was harnessed to peacefully restore democratic rights and freedoms. The same non-violent solution inspired the June 1987 uprising in South Korea, which toppled another tyrant and paved the way for direct elections and subsequently built a strong citizenry. Any solution that benefits a community is good, but it is connecting these solutions that creates an even greater good. This is how and why the Magsaysay Institute for Transformative Leadership was born. An avenue for sharing solutions, for creative collaboration, for connecting changes across sectors and borders. An idea exchange that puts people and their communities at the center of everything, so that every society in Asia can be transformed and every life becomes full and productive. The Ram pump brings water to impoverished upland communities in the Philippines by tapping the kinetic energy of flowing water from rivers or springs. Reviving and improving on once discarded technology, the pump is making clean, cheap water available for household use, livestock raising, and small-scale agriculture, not only in the Philippines, but also in Afghanistan, Nepal, and Colombia, where water is likewise very scarce. In Bangladesh, during the early 1980s, the Grameen Bank revolutionized lending by boldly investing in the poorest of the poor. Grameen gave microloans to impoverished rural women at the time when no bank would even consider doing so. Through a disciplined, self-managed, culturally appropriate system of savings and collection, along with a sustained financial literacy program, thousands of families availed of much-needed loans. And loan recovery rates were higher than in the prevailing bank system. The initial Grameen microcredit methods have since spawned many similar enhanced or expanded lending to the poor programs across 58 countries around the world. In Nepal, the vision of poor cataract patients is being restored by using affordable lenses and simplified surgical techniques which were perfected locally. The cataract surgery, which takes only 5 minutes to perform, is preventing nearly 5,000 Nepalese every day from going blind, and is now benefiting thousands more in Vietnam, China, India, Bangladesh, Cambodia, and even North Korea. The greater good is that when the poor and blind can see again, their entire family lives a better life as well. These are just a few examples of how the Magsaysay Awardees' solutions have been connected within Asia and to other parts of the world. Connections made possible through the work of the Ramon Magsaysay Award Foundation and the generosity of its laureates. Imagine how many more meaningful links are waiting to happen. Imagine how Asia and Asian solutions can inspire the whole world towards social transformation. Transformation that ripples towards lasting, positive change in policies, systems, mindsets. Transformation that transcends borders yet promotes peaceful diversity and gives progress a human face. And in the 21st century, exactly what the world needs.
Thank you very much, Ma'am, for coming this morning. I know it's very early in the morning, and to be quite honest with all of you, we're buying a little bit of time because we have several other people that have wanted to be here this morning and deserve seats, but they're either
caught in traffic or they had a late night last night and they're asking for a little bit more time for us to start. So we started with 2 videos this morning just to remind everybody about this 67-year-old organization. When I look around the room, okay, many of you were not born 67 years ago, okay? As a matter of fact, many of you were probably not even a thought 67 years ago. And can you imagine this foundation is, has been in existence for this long? Originally started and founded by the Rockefeller Brothers of New York. This was to honor the 7th president of the Philippines, President Ramon Magsaysay. And since then, we've had 354 awardees, something that, as far as I'm concerned, I'm only a 5-year president, okay, of the Ramon Magsaysay Award Foundation, but I've fallen in love with the foundation because it really is a gem of a foundation in terms of the people that this organization has given honor to truly the heroes of Asia. So I know we have to start the program, so Simone, where are you? Come on down here, and I will hand it on to you. So again, magandang umaga po. Here is Simone from the Ramon Magsaysay Transformative Leadership Institute.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Fair Water Talks. I'm so sorry it's so early in the morning, but thank you so much. We are so appreciative that you are here with us today. We are thrilled to begin, but of course, like our president said, we want to make sure that we have everybody who wants to be here with us today. So before we begin, we would like to show a couple of video presentations from our event partners without whom this would not be possible at all. So I would like, of course, for you to please get as many water or coffee or refreshments as you would like to stay awake and alive with us for our first hour. And please turn your attention to the screen for a couple more video presentations from our event partners. Thank you.
Sila ang mga dapatapon, basurang itinatapon natin dito at doon. Lagim na namumuo sa ating mga waterway. May dalawang klase ng basura na nagiging sanhi ng pagdumi ng ating waterways. Una ay ang solid waste tulad ng goma at plastic. Pero meron ding liquid waste o wastewater. Ito yung ginamit na tubig gaya ng pang-flush ng inidoro, panligo, at panghugas ng pinggan. Wastewater din ang maruruming likido na nanggagaling sa mga commercial at industrial establishment. Solid o liquid, kapag napunta sa ating mga katubigan, pareho silang lason na pumapatay sa ating mga yamang tubig, gaya ng mga ilog at dagat, at nagiging banta sa kalusugan ng komunidad. Huwag mag-alala, may pag-asa pang masagip ang ating mga katubigan. Ito ay sa pamamagitan ng solid waste segregation and recycling at sa responsible wastewater management. Sa pamamagitan ng world-class treatment facilities ng Maynilad, nakokolekta at nalilinis ng husto ang wastewater bago ito ibalik sa ating mga katubigan. Kaya, hindi ito nagdudulot ng polusyon. Kung mapapangalagaan natin ang ating mga waterway, pwede rin itong maging alternative water source para sa ating inuming tubig. Ito ang ginagawa ng Maynilad sa tulong ng mga makabagong teknolohiya at pasilidad na nakakapag-produce ng tubig na pasado sa Philippine National Standards for Drinking Water or PNSTW ng DOH. Pero syempre, ang pinakamabisa pa rin panlaban sa pagkasira ng ating waterways ay ang pagtupad ng ating tungkulin na protektahan ang ating mga katubigan. Kaya huwag magtapon kung saan-saan dahil ugaling patapon yan.
Ako si Joselito Libre, nagpuyo diri sa Barangay Bago. Pigado gid amo ang pangabuhi kay sige lang mi daro, sige lang mi trabaho. So ang matabo hubas ang amo ang talamnan, wala na tubig.
Barutag, taga Kambugnay. Parte na sa tubig ang paghahambalan, nagadulhog taklad gid kami. Nagkadalag ko akong mga kabataan sa amo lang na dulhog taklad para lang makadala kami tubig, makapaligo, makapanglaba. Hindi na ko nga kasarang magsagop sa mambangon. Tapos na ang paggamit namon sa tubig di na nag-abot ni ang project sa Coca-Cola.
Sa among mga pananom, kada bulan, ga-harvest kami. Apoy sibing nga amo ang ginahimo, kada bulan ga-sibing kami. So amo na silang ipasalamatan ang Coca-Cola Foundation nga mogi nag-support sa ani kay kundili amo pag gina siyang mapasanyog sa uban nga mga community.
Thank you, Maynilad and Coca-Cola Foundation and Ayala Museum for championing our cause and helping us bring the inspiring stories of our speakers to a greater audience through the Fair Water Talk series. To officially open today's Fair Water Talk, may we call on the President of the Ramon Magsaysay Award Foundation, Ms. Susan B. Afan.
Okay. Lakasan nyo naman ng konti yung palakpak para medyo excited naman ako magsalita. Hindi. Okay. So again, magandang umaga po. Good morning. I will be speaking in Taglish this morning because our keynote speaker is actually from Thailand, and I want to make sure that she knows that I'm speaking nicely about her and all the other things that we're going to be talking about this morning. Well, again, thank you so much for waking up early and being here with us to talk about something that affects all of us and our families, and that's water. Tubig, no? The reason why we're here is because ADB, the Asian Development Bank, which is based here in the Philippines, that employs thousands, of people from around the world for many, many years, had a 3-day water forum. So experts from around the world were here in Manila to talk about water management, water as far as a resource, and how we can make sure that access to water that is still unavailable for millions of people become more of a reality rather than a dream. It just so happens that they also wanted to make sure that ADB just does not talk to academicians, to scientists, but they want to be able to bring down the level of conversation to teachers and to the general public and to children. And so they tapped us and asked us to partner with them to see if they could bring an exhibit so that we can read about it, we can talk about it, and probably share some of the thoughts and ideas that we have with our communities and even with ADB. And so the reason why you're here is because of the exhibit that is on the, what floor is it, Joy? The second floor, okay? So after our talks today, we hope that you get to visit the exhibit. It comes from Oxford University. So this is not something that we created, but it is something that has really been thought about, researched, and is traveling around the world. And we are so fortunate that we get a chance to view it in Manila and bring you some of our Magsaysay awardees that have been water heroes for, as I said, some of them for many, many years. It just so happens as well that one of the subject matter experts that ADB invited to the Philippines happened to be one of the board of trustees of the Ramon Magsaysay Award Foundation. So before I introduce her and tell you more about her, before she takes a plane back to Bangkok, we had to pull her and ask her, can you please be our first speaker for our 12-week of dialogues? Because She's usually a very sought-after speaker. She just came back from the United States, and she came back from Europe, talking about water, and we are just so pleased and happy that she can share, a few hours of her time with us. So I'm happy that you're here as well to take advantage of this. We're also making sure that this opportunity to dialogue is just not open to 50 or 80 people, but to the rest of Asia. And so thank you so much to our partners, Southside Creatives, to Tines as well, for making sure that this is all documented and will be shown on YouTube for replays and our own respective websites, so that you can share the information that you will learn today with many of your friends, classmates, and family as well. Okay? All right. So, I want you all to go to the mountain province at this point in time, okay? Think of the mountain province. High up in the north, in the northern part of the Philippines, is the Banawe rice terraces that have been there for, are you ready for this? Kung kame 76 years, Banawe rice terraces is over 2,000 years old. Raise your hand nga, who has been to the Banawe rice terraces? Can I see a raise of hands? Ooh, okay, there's quite a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hands, okay? I was there a very, very long time ago. But as you all know, it has stood the test of time. It is not just a tourist spot, but it's actually now a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and some even call it the 8th wonder of the world. This was carved by hand. Think about this. Stone by stone. These terraces turned steep hills into farmland. But more than that, they managed water, slowing it down, storing it, and using it wisely. The Ifugao people, one of our country's proud indigenous communities, built this without machines. Just ancestral knowledge, patience, and a deep respect for nature. Long before climate change was a buzzword, our ancestors were already adapting. They didn't fight nature. They worked with it. This is the kind of wisdom and vision of President Ramon Magsaysay stood for. Practical, grounded, and focused on what truly helps people. That spirit lives on in the Ramon Magsaysay Award and through the work of our Transformative Leadership Institute, headed today by Joy Alampay. Joy, please stand and be acknowledged. Today, as we all know, our challenges are bigger and closer to our homes. In my Código this morning, it says, rainy season is coming. I think it's already here. The rain has already started, and it is upon us. And we all know what that means, and we all know what's next. The flooding of the streets, the basura, being seen everywhere, drinking water shortages, sickness as well of people that are unfortunately exposed to dirty water, families displaced, and this happens again and again and again. And we keep asking, why does this keep happening? But maybe the better question is, why aren't we listening or learning from the past or using what we already know? There are plenty of cities around the world that don't flood the way our cities flood. What about technology? Isn't there new technology that works? And what are some of the other solutions that are already being not just tested, but are proven? Where are these things? We have satellites, we have sensors, we have data. But still, we stay reactive, and still, we're unprepared for what's to come. Maybe this is not just about climate change or about the climate crisis. Maybe this is a crisis of focus and attention and malasakit, really caring about the problems of our communities, of our country. Maybe that's the crisis, a crisis of leadership, not just on a national basis, but on a community basis. And everybody says, the smallest unit of the community is our families. So maybe even leadership in our families to make sure that we do things to conserve water, to recycle, and to really do things to help mitigate the problems of climate change. But that's why we're here today. And I'm just so happy to see each and every one of you, because this is how change starts. By caring, by showing up. That's the first thing, you show up and say you care. I'm gonna wake up in the morning, I will show up here, and we're gonna be here for 12 weeks, huh? So I'm just telling you, 12 Saturdays, and I actually want to thank my team because they're giving up 12 Saturdays to be here and bring these talks, these dialogues to as many people as we can, because we believe in the advocacy of fair water. And why is it fair water? Because we also see this as a human right. It's 2025. We take for granted our water faucets, that when we turn it on, water comes out, and technically, we can drink the water that comes out of our faucets. It's very easy for us to wash our clothes, wash the plates, because it's readily available. But did you know that many, many people, not just in the Philippines, but around Asia and in the world, still do not have the same access of water as we do? So we look at access to water as a human right. A lot of people think that access to the internet right now should be a human right, okay? But more so, water. Water is a basic right that everybody should have. So again, thank you for being part of this conversation. Water access, management, and fairness is a big, big, complex problem. But the mere fact that young people are here, and you are the majority of our audience, gives us hope, because you bring energy, you bring fresh ideas, you bring influence. So let's lead like President Magsaysay did, which is with heart, with humility, and more importantly, with action. Because the future isn't waiting, and neither are we. So let's begin this morning's festivities. The lady I'm about to describe, and thank you that I'm so privileged to be able to share her with all of you this morning. Although last night, okay, she looks prim and proper, but she was like a dancing queen last night, okay? Kotchakorn Voraakhom is an accomplished and acclaimed landscape architect and climate adaptation expert, the chairwoman of the Climate Change Action Working Group, and one of our Ramon Magsaysay Award Foundation's trustees. How many of you have been to Bangkok? Raise your hand. Okay, well, there's quite a few of you, and for those of you that will go there, she's humble, but many of the most beautiful landscape, sceneries and views, I'm sure, had something to do with her and her organization. So from transforming flood-prone parks into resilient green spaces, to integrating nature into the heart of urban life, her work shows to us what happens when design meets empathy and action. Like the terraces, the Banawe rice terraces, her work is both quiet and bold, built not just to survive, but to sustain and last. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Kotch Voraakhom as she helps us imagine what's possible when leadership, community, and design move as one. Kotch.
Thank you. It's the most beautiful introduction of myself. So thank you, Suzanne, and thank you for having me, and thank you to spend your Saturday morning with me and with all of us. But before I really begin to get to all of you to know me, I want all of you to know each other. And I think it's very important when we talk about water. And I'm a troublemaker. I'm switching the room. The cameraman gets so messy. But I feel like we need to understand water by being a water, right? So what's water do is flow, is moving. So I would ask all of you to maybe get Post-it, maybe 3 pieces each. Yes? Can we spread away so it's faster? Yeah. So maybe 3. Yeah. If you have pen, grab it. And I think we're gonna move a bit. This is Saturday. Yeah, I know. We still should be in bed, but and those who are on the second row, just be active, stand up, and be careful of your water, because people will probably flip over, wet the floor. So make sure it's underneath the chair. Take off your bags, or you can walk with it. So, thank you. Okay, ready? You can put number 1. My question to you is, how are you? How do you feel right now? Anything? One word. Just one word, yes. Okay, quick. We have to be quick. Yep, you ready? It's okay. Yeah. Keep it, and stand up. I will stand up, everyone. I will play some music. You have to walk. You don't need to walk with your friends. You can walk backwards, forwards, sideways, right, left, in that corner. Do whatever you feel. Feel like you're a drop of water flowing in this room. Okay, music. And when you hear my bell, you listen to me. Okay, good. Let's do it. Just walk. Don't need to walk with friends. Just walk around. Come on, yeah, you can swim too. Yes. Yeah. Come on. Be in the middle. Yes. Okay. Don't stick with your friend. You are just your own drop of water. Let's flow around. Anywhere in this room you feel. Stop. No talking. Oh, stop means stop. It's not backward. Yeah, stop. Turn to your right 90 degrees. Turn 180 degrees. Whatever direction you're facing, just walk straight forward and walk again. Shift direction. Stop, turn to your left 90 degrees. Look around the room. See what's your eye contact to the one unknown, but you feel like you want to know him or her. Pair up with someone you don't know in the room. Close to you. Yes, pair up, pair up, pair up. Yes, pair up. It can be 3 too. Okay, introduce yourself. Tell him or her about what you feel this morning and why you are here. Get to know. Why you are here today. Take turn, take turn. And then again, the water needs to flow. Shift, walk around the room. Walk around the room. Be wherever. You don't need to walk in row. You are like a drop of water flowing everywhere, dropping from gravity. Find your own gravity. Okay, now looking at the screen, I want you to write down from the second paper what water means to you. Write down your own definition of water. What does it really mean? Is it mean life, or is it mean rain, or is it mean tear, or is it mean anything? Think about what is water means to you. Does it mean mother? Does it mean friend? Does it mean flood? Does it mean drought? Okay, so walk around. Music. Okay, turn to your right. 45 degrees. 45. Yes. Look around. See your eye contact. Which eye contact that you feel drawn to is so attractive. And those eyes need to be from someone you don't know. Pair up. Look around a bit, Martin. Yes. Find some eyes, some people you don't know yet. And pair up. It can be 2 or 3. Who doesn't have group, you can join. Okay, share your answer. What is water means to you? Tell your friends a story. Tell your friend this important word. What does it mean? Does it mean something similar to your friend? Does it mean something different? And yes, as like life, water is life. We need to do our own journey. So let's walk again. Okay, the water, you need to find your own gravity. Walk around the room. You don't need to be stuck. This is small space here. This is small space here. Yes. Yes, let's flow. Let's flow. Okay, turn around to the room, whatever angle. Find someone you still don't know and you want to get to know that drop of water. Share the meaning of your water. What's the water means to you? What's the water means to you? Understand a person in front of you through their story and the meaning of water. What does it mean, water? Must be a meaningful conversation with a stranger about water. Oh, what? About water, yes. About something else too. Okay, so please be in silence for a bit. Like water, yes. So looking in front of the screen, please stop chit-chatting for a bit. We have time for mingling. I want all of you to see this picture and put your last paper. How do you feel about this picture? I'm sure all of us is been there together. Please be in silence and write down what do you feel when you see all these images again? once again, pair up with someone you don't know and share your experience, your emotion after seeing all this shared experience. Please share your thoughts, your experience. And let's have a seat. Yes, let's have a seat. You don't need to sit with your friend. Just sit with someone you just talked to. Sit in the closest chair. Yes. Mingling. Don't need to sit the same place. Sit in the closest chair. Yes. I know it's more important for all of you to know each other than knowing me. To know your friends, to know someone who probably have solution in this room. And move around if, yes. So, anyone has got a new friends and heard about his or her story and want to share that to this room? Not your own story, but the story that you heard from, that you feel touched and you want to share from your friends. No? No good story? Come on. Yes. Thank you. And introduce yourself and introduce your friends and what do you hear and why is so touched your heart. Yes.
Good morning, everyone. So I'm Isabel, an intern from RMAF, and I just want to share course story. She's from UP Diliman and she's currently an undergrad. And then I asked her, what did you feel about the pictures? And she said, she felt sad. Of course, it's normal. And then why? Then she said, kasi she answered for the question, what is water for you? So she answered, survival. But here on the photos, she said that sometimes for us, like a normal person, water is used for survival. But for other people, it could be scary since, you know, hindi natin alam or we don't know what is the effect of water to their lives. Like for example, for us, water could be helpful, but others could be, you know, a reason why their homes could be, you know, masira or hindi nila alam na for tomorrow may bahay pa ba kami. And you know, you could from that story, makakatch mo yung, ganun pala yung way niya ng, or perspective niya about water. So, ayun lang po. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it can mean survive and it can scare. It can be life and death. Any more story in this room? It's not about you, it's about someone you know and you want to share this together. Be brave. It's okay. Anyone? Yes. Thank you. Introduce yourself and yes.
Hi, my name is Sabine. This is about something a guy named CJ told me, CJ, can you raise your hand? I have really bad eyesight.
Here.
Hi, CJ.
CJ.
So he wrote down for these images that we all saw, I'm going to quote it incorrectly because I can't rightly remember, but he was talking about how basically nature has no morality, it has no intentions, it just is. And so when it acts upon the earth and in our world, it's on us to work with it and ensure that that we're working in tandem with it so that things like this, baha, don't happen, and that our public infrastructure meets the needs of our people, and that we make sure that our world is built and made in a way that works with nature, utilizes what it gives us. Yeah, that's basically it. Thank you.
Thank you. So beautiful. I like the way that nature have no morality and have no intention. It just is. But it's about us, right? So I think this is great. Thank you for both friendship. Yes. Thank you for, yes. Anyone have a burning story you hear today and you want to share for your friends? Anyone? Yes, Suzanne.
Actually, I just wanted to share that a few years ago, I knew of somebody that because he had to go to work and there was flood, he caught what I think is known as leptospirosis, and he had to cut part of his leg because of the the health issues that
Yes.
floods bring, whether it's the feces of rats and things like that. And so it really is, this is a regular person that would just go to work, but has to go to work, but has to go through the flooded areas, that by the time that one flood season came, by the time it was over, he lost part of his limbs, which is awful.
Thank you. Please give a hand to Suzanne. And yes, so I think water can mean so many things, and it's bring life and it can take life as well. So thank you for sharing. So this is probably my story of flooding. So this is me when I was 7, maybe. Yes, and this is me experience of flooding in 2011. And when Suzanne mentioned about her friends, I also live with my sick mom, who's maybe in her end of life stage. And even just to touch that drop of water that's dirty, she was just gone because her immune system is not strong enough. So I was wondering, what about millions of Thai people who also experience same thing here in Manila that millions of you experience? And I think we all here together because we are neighbor. This is something that very common, not only just in Manila, in Jakarta, in Penang, in Bangkok, in many cities in Thailand. So I think this is something that we not hardly talk about, and we're not putting too much attention when it's come to politics, when it's come to Trump, when it's come to so many other things. So this is the watershed. And I think we're going to hear more about how the watershed need to be think rather than political boundary. Because this is the whole water systems in the watershed. And the yellow line is Bangkok. And you can see this is the flooding, the whole water from the whole watershed need to go through Bangkok. But we don't want to get wet. Just one city don't want to get wet because it's whole 1/3 of the GDP of the nation. The economic engine, the heart, the soul, the capital, the money, many things is there. So you can see we dry there. But we flood upstream Thai right? So this is what it looks like upstream. And of course, water can mean rains. And I'm not sure, but this year, the rain happened so quickly in Bangkok. It's just like pouring rain. It's supposed to pouring rain maybe about September. So the rain came early. Is it here in Manila too? Yes. This is the first time I experienced rain right after hot summer, right after. So unexpected rain, sea level rise, 7,000 islands country. Yes? Yes. Bangkok sounds not that severe when we talk about the island nations. But of course, still, this is us very close. And this is used to be land, the boundary of Bangkok. And now is actually underneath, right? This pole needs to be on ground, but it's already it took me 30 minutes to get to that boundary and yeah, get to see where used to be Bangkok. So we go like crazy as a city. And I think this is a very similar story within our region. Very classic. Very classic. I'm sure all of us is very resilient, very adaptive. And when the global north want to teach us about urban resilience, it's just like, who are you to talk about resilience, about water? It has to be us, right? We are very adaptive. We know exactly, we don't have any policy aligned. We know how to help ourselves. We know how to save our dogs. And this is and we smile with it. We laugh. And this is very classic. Is it classic here in Manila too? Because we're Delta, so we have a lot of like amphibious friends, and this is very normal. So I myself also part of the Global Commission on Nature Positive City. And I think we work together with mayors, with our profession. But I'm so glad that we have landscape architect. Landscape architect is not architect. Landscape architect is not urban design. But when we come to the city solution, we only go for architect or urban design or something else, or engineer. No one talk about us in the sense that we can solve the city issues. But they only think about us when, what do you think about landscape architect? Be frank. Garden? Gardens. Yes. Resort. Hotel, correct? So I just feel like, yeah, garden, yes. So I want to really promote the solution, and of course with my profession, and all of you should promote your profession too. What can you do to solve these problems? So the nature loss is threatening 44% of city GDP. And you don't imagine how much that flood cost Manila. Billions, right? And the one in Thailand is the most expensive flood, ranking top 5 in the world. Yes. And it's not only all about nature, it's about human managing water. And those who making that top-down decision. It's government, it's some province that want to get wet. You put the water going to the next province, right? Bangkok don't want to get wet. You put the water to other province. So water can mean really politics. It's not just the glass of water that we drink. It's power, it's money, it's resource, right? So I think looking in this carbon emission each nation burn fossil fuel and cause the whole world on climate shifting. Where are we? Where are we on this map? Rest of world. But why are we put in the front line when it's come to the climate impact? Who gonna pay for this? Who gonna ensure our livelihood? Because the global north nation already burn all the fossil fuel and get rich, be wealthy. And now they want to stop us not to develop, not to burn. Keep your forests, we pay you through carbon credit. Yes, this is all the conversation at COP when we talk about climate change. So I think we either adapt or we die.
During the high tide, for example, the sea level is already higher than Bangkok. Bangkok has situated on the soft clay, and there are layer of clay and sand. We don't have any rock layer. Some area, especially Bangkapi area, has been sunk for 1 meter already.
We don't concern much about our natural waterways, which is canal. So that means we neglect about how the water will drain.
Okay, so I think that would be the Bangkok situation, and I know that many of you hasn't been to Bangkok, and I think we are in a similar boat. Yes? Any of you want to reflect? How do you feel knowing that we are in that situation as friends? Yeah, please.
We're not too far off. Metro Manila is also low-lying. We will be inundated once sea level rises. It's only a question of, and we're still building a lot of reclamation sites. So it's what Bangkok has experienced and is experiencing. We are catching up to it, and we're facing the same climate pressures.
Thank you, Alvin. Yes, we are in the same boat and we are doing the same thing. All the investments still ongoing in Bangkok. Nothing has been proved solution. But yes, I think we are having a similar issues, and it's not only Bangkok, it's with Indonesia as well, with Malaysia, with Vietnam, with no Laos. Laos have no, but maybe some other issue with Mekong River, how one river can be owned by many nations and have control. We cannot have control our own life because The upper stream is in China, and they built 7 dams and plus, right? So I think this is a very transboundary problems, and it's very tricky when we don't see water as watershed, but we only see it in part. And that's what we are doing to our own state at the moment. So, is there anyone who want to share what in these issues? And yes, CJ, is there a mic there? Okay, please.
Hello. So in my previous work, I used to analyze the gaps in the policies of water resources management in Pampanga River Basin. And within that watershed, it encompasses 4 provinces. It's Tarlac, Nueva Ecija, Bulacan, and Pampanga. And I agree with ma'am that the boundaries are more of political, more than watershed based. If we're going to look at the policies that we have right now, it's almost like there's a policy related to water resources management in one province, for example, say Bulacan, or like in Pampanga, but we don't have like policy for water resource management in the upstream. But if we don't take care of the upstream part of the watershed, there will be serious and extreme flooding in the low-lying areas of the watershed. So if we're going to look at the news, like there's always flooding in Pampanga, there's always flooding in the low-lying areas of Bulacan, because the water drains in the Manila Bay and they don't have enough height to be able to survive the waters. So I kind of agree that I think it's a matter of like how we view watershed as it is, and not necessarily in terms of like political boundaries.
If you want to fix the water issues, we have to take off all the hat and really understand where the water flow through gravity. Correct, yes. So I think, so for me, as a citizen of my nation, next year there was like a competition about park in the heart of Bangkok at Chulalongkorn or Siam area, which is like prom area, maybe somewhere here in Manila. So there's like a competition, and I just entered this competition thinking about what we have experienced last year from this competition. So I built a park right in front of the city. It's 11 acres. It looks simple, but it's not that simple, because this land costs 11 acres. Give me a number. $1 billion US. This land costs $1 billion US. And all people want to make it as another shopping mall, right? We have so many shopping malls you can ever imagine in my city. Never enough, really. So instead of being another shopping mall, it's become a park, which is very challenging. And I'm probably in my early 30s, maybe a little bit older than you. Yes, but so this is my idea. We are flat, so we incline the whole park to collect every drops of rain. And with inclining, we put architecture, we put green roof, we put wetland, we put retention pond. So the park is designed to flood. And this is what it looks like, but this is what it looks like when it's not flood. There are so many infrastructure that built to wait for flooding. Are you familiar with that? Wait for 20 years to flood. I will show you what does it mean later. So when it's not flood, what can we do with all this infrastructure? We can have it as a park, we can have it as a concert. This is the first inclining park in my nation because we are flat, and This is very popular. You guys should go when you're in Bangkok because it's right downtown. And I have no idea that it's that good because it's my first park. It's my first public project. And I have no idea that what would be the reaction with this design. So it's got many awards. And when we don't have winter, summer, whatever, spring, we don't get it, right? We in a tropic region. So we only have wet and dry. Wet and dry. Only very wet and very dry. So this is what the season look like when thinking about every development, holding the water for each other or for yourself. We're not gonna flood the whole street, the sewage infrastructure. That's probably not gonna hold the rain. The whole infrastructure in Bangkok can hold 5-year return period, let's say 5. But now we experience 100-year rain period twice per year. What does it mean? It means the urban infrastructure no longer survive us. And I'm sure this is the same story with yours as well. So this is in the opening. We don't want to move big plan like resort projects from the forest to here. So we plan from small. But right after 5 years, we can make nature positive city in 5 years, in our lifetime. But we need to start today. So this is what Chulalongkorn Centenary Park look right now. And one day, anyone know this guy? You don't know him, right? I don't know him. At that time, someone from general manager, UN, whatever, coming to your park tomorrow. Do you have time to walk him? I said, yeah. I walk many people, so I went there. And when I get there, and then he got there, it's like 100 people after him. Just like, oh my gosh. So he's just recently become the UN Secretary General and the leader of the world talking about climate change. So I walk him the park, tell him the design, and make him work for Bangkok by recycling the water that designed to irrigate the retention pond. So he hurt his back a bit, but yes. So, and then we have a conversation. I told him that Bangkok is sinking faster than the sea level is rising. What does it mean? We are mashing up, right? And this is another project. And when Suzanne mentioned about, there are some music, but yeah. Oh, I think I put it. So when Suzanne talked about urban rice farming, this is what I do, my own urban rice farming in the middle of Bangkok with the building. And it's the biggest one in Asia, the second largest one in the world. Something we can beat Singapore. No, I was kidding. Yes. We are neighbors. So this is the building. And instead of moving the mountain from somewhere to put in the urban like this, right? We destroy the mountain, put the cement, and coming into the concrete. This is how we transfer mountain. But now we transfer mountain to become a mountain, at least somewhat the concept of the mountain. So this is the idea. Thanks to our ancestor who's still the farmer, who's still working hard to invent this technology through generations, right? What can this thing do? Is part of how you teach the younger generation where's your rice coming from, your vegetable coming from. It's teaching you the renewable energy, pumping the water from the retention pond going up, and use gravity to grow food and slow down the runoff 20 times. This should be something that all this building offer to the city. Not only shopping place, but something else. So I'm very grateful that this is how the younger generation become a farmer with their iPhone, coming to the city and learn about food security through hands. So, yes, so I think this is what, and I'm so honored because those two projects is actually in university. So that means younger generation can know that this is possible. Even we are developing world, this is very something we can do and we should do more. This is another work. Okay, I only have 8 minutes, but I have another 10 projects to share. But it's okay. I stop in 8 minutes. This is the leftover infrastructure in Thailand. 40 years ago, they promised us to have a first SkyTrain in nation in Southeast Asia. So rather than just building this bridge, they built this floating infrastructure waiting for the train to arrive. And da-da-da, something reborning as the story ends. The train never arrived for 40 years. Is that similar? Something similar here? Somewhat our share Southeast Asian story. Yeah, so 40 years later, we turned it into the bridge park across Chao Phraya River. So if you go to Bangkok, go there. No charge, it's free. All my project is free for entrance. And go there during the sunset. It's the most beautiful sunset in Bangkok because we can't access to riverfront anyway, to informal settlement, to 6-star hotel. So this is another equity space. It's very narrow, maybe this width of this room, but we twist and turn and take it into a creative public space. That's how people, it's the first bridge for feet, not for wheel, right? And many countries trying to invest on this type of project, but never success. Even Sir Norman Foster in London because it's so expensive. But we, Thai, invested 40 years ago, so we got it done. People went there to see the star, to sit and talk, walk, have a concert. And each year, if you count down in Bangkok, go to this place. So now the leftover infrastructure that's not going to be used anymore becomes something like the diamond in the city that you just discover. So I'm sure there's a lot of this infrastructure in our region, so recycle it. Okay, so I think there's so much to do about canals because Bangkok used to be called Venice of the East. So this is the most expensive. Maybe it's just like, imagine the canal here. But it's the most dirtiest, the most unwanted, and no one talk about it. So we turn the same canal, same infrastructure. Engineer, you still function city as it is, but we put the human dimension, the social dimension to this infrastructure. And it's connect to the SkyTrain, it's help clean the water. People can be part of this leftover waste space, which we thought that we don't have enough space in Bangkok, but we need to steal the space back from the waste space, from architecture, from whatever we can, from leftover infrastructure. And this is supposed what all canal in Bangkok should be, but this is the first one as the Venice of the East that canal become park. Isn't it funny, sad? But yes. So this is another canal. It's a historical canal, very important. Too important that we don't want anyone to fall because none of us can swim anymore. We become no resilience anymore because of all this urban infrastructure. Looks nice, but homeless. This is another side of the canal. And we want to separate water from our life. It's so dirty, smelly. I don't want to touch you. I don't want to talk about it. I don't even want to face you, right? So this is my site, but this is how many bureaucrat departments I have to go through to get this project done. And this is very classic. Don't laugh at us. All of us. Go map down your silo. This is crazy. We need to break all the silo. So this is how we break silo. We use people. And finally, the China Wall of Bangkok has been destroyed. The Berlin Wall, whatever wall from the water. This is very simple. But why can't we have it from the very beginning? Because, okay, we need another 5 hours to talk about all this problem, but this is how I can get my people close to canal once again. Okay, maybe this is the last one. Why government building have to look like this? Why? We are different nation, different language, but why our government building needs to look like this? Why? Why do our government have to make people feel so small? And when they talk about landscape architect, this is what they think about us. Very cute, potted plant, flowers, garden. I was just, no, we can do more. Why government have to be no feeling? Are they human? And this is Thai version of government. So 10 years ago, not 10 years, during COVID, I have opportunity to rethink about this government city, which combine all 9 ministry all together. But 34,000 people per day come to work here with our public mass transit. Without, just bus, but we don't use bus, like you don't use bus or you don't use train, right? I'm just learning. So, you know, this is very classic. So this is how we come and meet our government. And when we get there, there's no parking space because there's no parking space. Everything has been turned to parking space. So we said, okay, last year, the train will arrive. We need to rethink about this. So that's the train, that's like connection to the whole campus. And when we map this critical line, it's mapped into this building. Very ugly parking space. So train arrive, we need to talk to these people to get seamlessly into this campus. But this is Supreme Court of Nation, lawyer, hard to figure out. This is a finance, people who only think about money. They don't want anyone to look into their buildings. And oh my gosh, it took 2 years to even just have yes from them. Whoa, yes. And eventually we designed the skywalk from the station. And we turned that building into, this is the experience that people are supposed to come here. And we turned this building into this. This is how we should be welcoming to our government complex. And I used a lot of curve. You know why? Because I want it to feel feminine. half of people using this space is women. Why does it have to look so masculine, right? Like great box. So on top of that parking space, we turn into the welcoming plaza, connect to this thing. We do redesign this parking space. This is the experience when people feel welcome to their government. And we lift up the parking space. People walk to work. At least in the morning, they feel peace. This is very important. And we turn the facade of parking space into how the facade can slow down the rain with the connecting plant. We celebrate the rain by having it as a golden pipe. So this is a structure, this is rain. Like rain should be friend. We shouldn't afraid of rain. Rain should be part of us. We should keep rain. We should keep flood. Because when it's drowned, we don't even find a drop of water. So flood should be our friend, not enemy. But we need to design about it, talk about it. On top is an urban farm. We deal with many EV bus systems. And I think I will stop this, but I also have a lot of work with politics and community, but maybe next time when I'm here. Just a drop of rain from the sky to the ocean, right? Like the activity we just did, very simple. We just flow things. But in my nation, we have to pass through 50 departments. So what does it mean? When you want to fix one problem, you need to call 50 people. Right? Same here. Maybe you are less, but if you're more than 50, we give you golden medal. I know. So how can we fix these problems? And I'm just a landscape architect who tries to do good, but when I'm working a lot with government, I'm starting to know the problem beneath all this thing. So it's more work that I might share later on how we destroy all this silo globally in Thailand as well. This is at COP. This is from my phone when I was the first landscape architect to invite to this convening. This is COP 26. All these people talking about solution for climate change. But 26 times without landscape architect. I'm the first one. What does it mean? Many of your profession hasn't been invited on the table. And how can we have a concrete solution? This is when I was appear in his speech from the opening. So yes, so much work to be done, my friends. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Kotchakorn, for that powerful and hopeful message. Your vision reminds us that resilience is possible and the solutions can be beautiful, just, and bold. And now we have the privilege to begin a discussion on the insights shared. To guide the discussion, we would like to call on stage once more our fearless leader, Ms. Susan Afan, President of the Ramon Magsaysay Award Foundation.
I love that, fearless leader. I don't know, I need to be more fearless actually after listening to you. Because can you imagine all the things that you've done? I mean, it's just amazing. It happened in a lifetime. Because sometimes we look at some of these problems and we're like, it's not going to happen in our lifetime because there's too much red tape, there's too many people we have to talk to, and yet this is living proof that it can be done, can be done. So with us this afternoon are two people from Bacolod, the home of Bacolod Inasal. They are people that are actually individuals that are action-oriented, our type of people. So please join me, Mr. Reynick Alo, Executive Director of the Federation of Multi-Sectoral Alliance for the Development in Negros, and Ms. Rose Depra, Executive Director of Negros Economic Development Foundation, to talk about their watershed conservation projects and to see how this talk was able to influence you and what action items do you now have in your list now that hopefully you're even more inspired. And the work that they are doing have been supported by Coca-Cola Foundation. So Reynick and Rose, can you please join me here in the middle? Please come. Dan, gusto mo rin sumama? O, dito kayo. Dito kayo. Dito po. Yan. We'll give them microphones. So we'll just ask you first to introduce yourselves and tell us, ano po ba, what work do you do in Negros? So go ahead. Ladies first. Rose.
Hi. Good morning, everyone. As introduced, I'm Rose Depra, the Executive Director of NEDF. It stands for the Negros Economic Development Foundation. And we've been in existence for the last 55 years now.
55, okay.
So my organization, we're into a lot of things. Shine, in short. We're into socialized housing, we're into health, we're into integrated farming development, we're into environment, entrepreneurship, and of course, sustainability. To do all these things, we have to be sustainable. So that's what we're doing. The word shine. Negros shines.
Very nice. So before I go to Reynick, I want to ask you first, Rose. So what did you get out of the talk today from Koch? What was your biggest takeaway?
I'm so inspired because in our own little way, in Negros, we also set aside a portion of the property of our foundation into a park. From a sugarcane field, it took me more than 4 years to convince my board to transform this into a park. Not only a park, but it's an interactive area where we plant, the native trees, because we have set aside an area for homeless. It's a relocation site, and there's no green space. So we said this area will serve as a lung for the 45,000 people residing in that area. So I'm so inspired. I think since we're developing another area, 6.1 hectares, that the idea of conserving all the waters, instead of just flowing it to the creek and the rivers, I'm more inspired. I think I have to, I have so many things come in mind that it can be done. It can be done.
Thank you. How about you, Reynick? Tell us what you do, and same question, what is your biggest takeaway from the talk this morning?
Yeah, first about MUAD. It's an alliance of various development organizations in Negros, where NEDF actually is one of our members. And we started as a capacity building organization for our members, but with the different issues in the province, economic and environment, so we covered also other issues. And eventually, with our different programs for 34 years, yeah. So we focus on upland because in the ecosystems, we have 7 ecosystems. And we see forests very important because what happens in our forest, it affects communities and areas below. So that's our focus. So we work with farmers in the upland, and we develop a farming system that encourages farmers to grow trees, and at the same time, we develop plant cash crops. And yeah, with the support of Coca-Cola Foundation, it has been strengthened, and we developed, which I will present later on. And my biggest takeaway, these ideas, not really new to me because I've been in Singapore and I've seen their projects there with the gardens in the buildings. Yeah. But since we are focusing in the rural areas and we are promoting compact farming and with our project, actually, we already encourage farmers to harvest the rain, yeah, and then so that they can have a source of irrigation, and they can have also drinking water if they filter it, and at the same time replenish the groundwater, which is very important. And with that, it will help communities down below. Yeah, that depends in the watersheds.
Of course, we saw the projects of Koch, which are multi-million, billion, because they're huge. And knowing that yours is on a much smaller scale, do you have any questions for her, or is there some big, aha moment or takeaway that you got to continue the work that you're doing moving forward?
Yeah, one I think is that she can share to us, because it's policy. Yeah? You mentioned that also before. How to convince our policy makers, our leaders, because they control the resources of the country. And yeah, they can allocate. There's a lot of allocations that are, shall we say, it's a waste, yeah? Or not really, but the productivity is really low and it's not connected to rain or water rehabilitation. Yeah.
No, I think that's a great question, Rainik, to Koch. Koch, you were an ordinary young girl in the picture, the very first picture, where this became very personal for you, because it was an experience that you yourself and your family experienced. But you changed your pain into purpose, and you were actually able to mobilize under very difficult circumstances, very similar to the Philippines, of bureaucracy. And yet you were able to get through the 50 organizations, the 150 people to talk to, in order to make things happen. And now that you have made things happen, people are now listening. But how did you start, and what did you do to make that happen?
Yes, I often get these questions, and I don't have an answer, because all of the projects have its own way of problems and bureaucrat. Like, even I'm sub-university, all my clients are all the head of the faculties, all the doctor, very smart people, who is my teacher, right? So I feel that you have to know how to dance, because you know that all this thing is in the systems, and you cannot just go to the system. You have to sneak in, you have to like turn left, turn right, and then...
Just like water.
Yes, just like the activity we did in the beginning, we just have to flow. And of course, simple to say, don't give up. But of course, like, these two leaders never give up. And I just feel that because of the love they have for their land, the love they have for their community. Do you have that love? Yes. And I do have that love too. And I feel that with that love, it's actually helped me to navigate and dance through all these systems. And people always ask next question, will it get easier when I do like Chulalongkorn, Thammasat, and many other projects? No, never get easier. But the good part is it gives you to a bigger fight. It allows you to go hard, to be more tough and fight a bigger fight. And you will never feel ready, right? Starting from the park, the first one in 30 years in central Bangkok. We don't have a park for 15 million people city for 30 years. Many of you hasn't been born, right? And it's a billion site project, which can be good for another shopping mall. So I think that is, and be very wise who you work for. Find the right leader. of course, you are your own leader, but you cannot figure out this thing by yourself, your team, your member, and things. But you serve the right leader who her love, his love align with your love and align with the community love. I think this is so important. And I'm just nobody, seriously. My surname is not a big surname in Thailand. It's like unknown. So I think I'm very lucky to be part of this movement, part of this, their leadership, her leadership. So I'm very grateful for that. Yes, that would be my answer. Yes.
No, thank you. Thank you for saying that. And that's the reason why we are doing these water talks, these dialogues with the youth, because this really coincides with the stories of the Magsaysay awardees. And this has been going on, as we've said, for 67 years. That these are ordinary people with no big surnames. These are ordinary people just like all of us in the room. But there were common things, common values that they all shared. And some of them would be, one is real passion and persistence for the advocacies and values that they believe in. They never say no. They never take no for an answer, because they know in their heart, in their minds, in their souls, that this is the right thing to do for their communities, for their people. So difficult as it may be, they just keep going. They just keep persisting.
And it doesn't matter what size of the project, it's about impact.
Yes.
It's about impact. What Rose and Renick doing is helping all of the downstream people, millions of you, with all this little action, right? Mine was probably impact 34,000 per day, but with our forest, with our watershed, what left for us? So it's not about size, it's about impact. Yes.
No. And I just have to say thank you again for saying that. And I just wanted to acknowledge Vivek Raman, who is with us this morning. Vivek is from ADB. He is one of the principals for the water and urban advocacy for the bank. And that's why I too am very grateful, because theirs are big, just like Kotch, okay? We're talking in the millions and the billions that they support. But they also were, I would say, innovative enough or brave enough or courageous enough to say it's not enough to just talk big. It's also very important to bring the message down to farmers, to the teachers, to the students, to the youth of tomorrow, where all these problems, unfortunately, will be put in your shoulders. And so if we can start talking about it right now, we're hoping that years from now you can say that the seed was planted in your head or in your heart to do something about the problems that you're currently facing with water, with the help of, big projects, small projects, but it was that, it's what inspired you to stay in this advocacy on water, and how hopefully in the future we can celebrate the work that you've done. So no, thank you. Thank you all around to everyone. So I wanted to zero in. I know that you came, they flew from Bacolod, by the way, this morning. So what time did you wake up?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. Kayo naman po. What?
Ako, I'm been here yesterday pa.
You were here yesterday. Okay. I know you have some presentations, so I didn't know. Should we show it, Joy? Okay. So just a quick overview. So who will go first? Okay. All right. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, okay. So our project, I'm honored to be here to present our experience and share with you. I hope we can get something from what we have done. So our project is a partnership for water and economic resilience in two watersheds, Bago and Malugo watersheds. Yeah, that's our project sites. We are into 9 municipalities and 19 barangays, and we are working with 1,000 plus farmers. So yeah, the issues in the upland, particularly in these 2 watersheds, located in northern Negros Natural Park, used to have 100,007 hectares plus of forest cover. Now, in 2010, it's only 19%. So that's how big the loss of the forest. And then what is bad, we have eroded soils and depleted soil fertility. That's why our farmers have low productivity this time, or it's very expensive now farming because the cost of inputs are very high and keep on increasing. And also we have low productivity and income of farming households because our farmers, their technology, medyo matagal na yan, no? It needs to be updated and it should be appropriate with the current condition. So they need new learnings so that they can improve the farming system. And another one issue, our farmlands are not increasing and our population, it is keep on increasing. So we need to develop technologies that can produce more in small area. And that's what we are trying to do. And then, yeah, we have reduced supply of water, particularly during longer dry spell. So if you noticed, we experience in the Philippines almost every 5 or 6 years drought. Before 10 years pa yan or more, ang gap. Now it's getting closer. It's 5, 6. So if you are a farmer, take note of that so that you can consider that in your planning and also, preserving water. And then, of course, poverty and dependence of communities from external support, particularly capital for farming. So those are some of the major issues. And our objective is to rehabilitate at least 22 natural springs within these areas. And specifically, we would like to organize and capacitate environment development savings and investments associations because we would like to train them how to mobilize local resources, local money to lessen their dependency from external source. And then to grow and protect agroforestries in natural water springs and establish profitable, sustainable collective farms and also groundwater replenishments. So our target is to reforest 250 hectares land in the uplands and then 22 springs. And also establish the community grain farms so that it becomes income generating, at the same time avenue for training the farmers. And that's one, establish 6,000 swale infiltration wells so that we can replenish groundwater and of course for irrigation. And then we would like to have our assisted farmers generate savings and investment of at least 3,000 to 5,000 each every year. And we are also promoting gender equality within our assisted communities. And our achievement as of at present, so we organized and capacitated 23 HCS with 1,162 members, and majority are women. And also with regards to savings, for 4 years, the cumulative savings generated 22 million. So can you imagine, these local communities has money, and on the average, 4,700 savings per member. And for the forest, so we established 22 hectares within the 22 natural springs. And we also established retirement tree farms. It's 214 hectares. So that we can convince farmers to grow trees. So it should be connected to their income generating. So we encourage them to grow fruit trees within their farm. So that's why we have this. And then we also train them to protect the forest. And the component tree is sustainable livelihood, where we established collective farms. We promote compact farming with vertical garden, and then we harvest the rain. And also the retirement tree farms. So each farmer should plant 1/4 hectare of forest fruit trees so that it becomes their livelihood. You know, our farmers, they don't have social security, mostly in the upland. So by growing trees, it will ensure their future during their retirement time. So at the same time, it's rehabilitating the upland, and of course, in the future, it helps the watershed. Very simple. So, and because of climate change, we don't know when the strong rain comes. So we have a sheltered farming farms. No? We call it food house. We call it that. It's covered with greenhouse and protected with net so that you don't need to spray pesticides. Yeah? So it's healthy food. Yeah? And our, shall we say, fantastic technology in replenishing groundwater. If you can look at that, the picture, that's a swale infiltration wells. So the capacity of that is 2 cubic meters, and then we established 6,010. So in a massive rain in one day, we could replenish 12 million liters of water. So if there's 180 days of rain, you multiply that. That's our contribution of replenishment the groundwater, replenishing the groundwater. It's a very simple solution.
So, Renick, now that you've presented this to us and you have experts here, you have a whole community here, if you can ask anything from the experts or from the people from ADB or our students and friends here, is there any request that you need for you to be able to continue and scale your work?
Yeah, of course, thanks to Coca-Cola for providing the starting funding to start our ideas. So, of course, there's a lot of areas that needs to be rehabilitated in Negros alone. It's a new region, and we are only dependent on external resources because though we are starting to have our own income generating, but that's not enough. Of course, first, we need more resources in terms of funding and more technical support so that we can also improve our system, our technology, because we are promoting compact farming. See, our assisted farmers has only 1 hectare, 1.5 hectares. And it should be more profitable so that they can earn above the poverty line. Because that's where poverty, our farmers should at least make, say, 15,000 a month. Yeah,
so if they want to get more information, where do they find you?
We can. We are in the Bacolod, and we have also a Facebook account, Muad Negros.
What is your Facebook account again, please?
It's Muad Negros. Yeah. And of course, I have later I can give my contact number. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, let's give him a round of applause, please, for being here with us this afternoon, this morning. And now we have Rose as well. Go ahead, Rose.
Thank you, Susan. So I have 5 minutes. Okay. Can I have a clicker? So I think I mentioned earlier already about NEDF. So it's we will be celebrating our 55th anniversary this coming July 24. So let me skip that. Let me proceed quickly to the projects. We're very lucky that we have a partnership with Coca-Cola Foundation for the implementation of this sustaining watershed health through agroforestry and livelihood, sustainable livelihood and agroforestry. So we started implementation of this project last January 2023, and we're implementing this project in the 13 barangays in the cities of Sagay and Cadiz City and the municipality of Calatrava and Negros Occidental. If you'll notice the strategies mentioned by Renick earlier, it's almost the same, no? But we're operating in a different area. So again, that's the project component. But let me focus on the spring rehabilitation and protection, because this is one project that we have convinced the governor. When we made the presentation, I think Monina was there, and I keep on telling the governor, can we implement the same project in other parts of the province because we have proven that it can really help the small farmers. No? Okay. So, of course, we do capacity building for the 30 people's organization that we're helping. Okay. Okay. So, in spring rehabilitation, so one component there is on, of course, it's how do we protect the watershed? We have to have forest patrols, no patrollers. We have trained at least 96 of them doing patrol works in the watershed. So we have, of course, tree planting activities. In all these 30 people's organization, they do their nursery establishment. They produce they do their nursery for native trees and forest and fruit trees. So another assistance that we did to this group is we created a quality monitoring team, no, to just to make sure that the intervention that we did in the area, the water, because we're very lucky that we were given by Coca-Cola Foundation of the this equipment to test the turbidity of the water and the water flow, no? Okay. That's it. So let me focus my presentation on this. The establishment of swale and infiltration canals. This really a big help to the farmers, especially on their farm activities, no? So this, as mentioned by Rainick earlier, a capacity of 2 cubic meter per well, no? And if you go around in the upland communities, barangays of the 3 local governments that we're working with, all these farms are now, they're adapting, no? Adapting this technology. Very simple technology. What you need is a shovel and of course your labor, no? But it can really be a big help to the farmers. Let me show you how. Oh, these are the effects of the farmers applying the infiltration canals, no? The wells and the infiltration canals. Look at the plants. During the long drought season, so, you know, sometimes it's so hard to convince the farmers to adopt the technology, but when they saw the effect, so most of them wanted not to do and we had a problem because we have only allocated a budget for 25 farmers per organization. So look at this, not the effect of the swale to their farms. That's it. So aside from the other component of the project is sustainable livelihood, no? So one of our strategies is we established 5 community farms, or strategically located in the 3 local government units where various technologies are being showcased. And we're very lucky that these technologies are being adopted by the member farmers. Yesterday, I was there up in the mountain, and we went home already around 11 o'clock in the evening. So personally, I'm so glad because we saw you said that with my own eyes, how the project affected the lives of these farmers. And we didn't know because these are, ang feeling ko nasa cloud na ako. And we're so glad that when, seeing their crops, the produce, this is the same produce that they serve us for lunch. Okay. So these 5 community farms, and I'm very lucky because one of the target also is to work with 3 sugar mills in the area. And the other day, we had a meeting with the resident manager of Central Bato. That's another sugar mill in the northern part of the province. And we're glad that the old golf course, they will be converting this into a park. a tree park in partnership with, of course, with NEDF and, of course, Coca-Cola. So it's, we will just start with a 5-hectare, and then, of course, the technology that we're doing in the cluster farm, we will also apply there, no? Okay. So just very quickly, what we are doing in the area. So we have because of course, sometimes track record really counts. So we're just very lucky that the provincial government gave us 2 million to construct the trading post as a support of marketing to the marketing for the produce of the farmers. And very good news, 2 weeks ago, I think, during the Provincial Development Council meeting, it was the government approved, the provincial government of Negros Occidental approved 9 million for us to implement Munina, this is good news for Coca-Cola. They allocated 3 million for 2026, 3 million for 2027, and 2028. So for 9 million to implement this whale technology in other parts of the province. So I think that's one gain.
Congratulations.
And,
congratulations.
It takes track record also.
Well, it's obvious that you're doing a great job. But more importantly now, as we move forward, Rose, now that you have an audience, you can have volunteers, you can have other people to help you, but do you have any requests from
yes.
the audience, and how do they get in touch with you?
First, Negros Occidental now is part of the Negros Island region. And we're very lucky that I'm part of the team that was invited by NEDA, the former NEDA, now NECDEB, the new name of NEDA, to be part of formulating the Negros Island Development Plan. So I think we really need a lot of support, especially if we want to bring development in our sister province, the Negros Oriental and Siquijor. So maybe.
How do we get a hold of you?
Well, we have our Facebook account. We have our website, but it's not yet updated. But maybe later on, we can give our address. No, I think it's in the last part of let me very quickly. There.
So that's how you get a hold of Rose if you want to learn more and be more involved in the work that they're doing.
Yeah. We will be very glad to invite you to visit Bacolod and Negros Occidental and observe. And just let us know. Then we can bring you to the up there in the mountain.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's give her a warm hand of applause here. Okay, time check. It is, we have 20 minutes before noon time, and I know that some of you are excited to take advantage of the free day, the free museum day that the Ayala Foundation is giving to us. So all of you can tour the foundation, see the work of Amor Solo, the Gold Museum, and so on and so forth. And then, of course, you have to take some lunch somewhere in beautiful Greenbelt, okay? But before we do that, I'd like to open the floor. Are there any questions that you might have for our guest, Kotch, Architect Kotch, and our two guests from Bacolod? Any questions, comments, insights that you may have? Please just tell us your name, who you represent, and then your question. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Sheena Bautista, a graduating student from UP Diliman. So I'm graduating from landscape architecture po. So I have a question for landscape architect Kotch. Since I'm soon to face reality, since I'll be graduating, where did you start lobbying your ideas as a fresh grad, especially when you're coming from undergrad where you have more creative freedom in designing and trying to solve real-life problems? But yeah, in reality, it's not that rainbows and sunshine. So maybe an advice on where to start lobbying your ideas or where to position yourself as a landscape architect.
Yes, and I think this is a very, like a Gen Z question. I want to change the world now, right? Tomorrow. Otherwise, I'm do something else. And I just feel that as a landscape architect and as many other profession, you need to master your tool. You need to master your tool before you can convince other people. And if you want to make change, you have to be in the system. I'm sorry. There's no other way around. If you want to change the system, but you're not in the system, how could you change the system? And if you want someone to trust you, and you need to build to earn it. Of course, when I'm in my 30s, I might look 22. I've never worked in Thailand before. I got the park project, no one trusts me, right? So I think this is all the obstacle you have to go through, but you have to be ready when it's come, right? Some people come when they're 40, when they're 30, but it can come any days. But I think you have to master your tools. And our tools is not being a social worker or advocate or activist. Our tool is drawing. I'm sorry. You have to master your drawing. You have to be able to create an image that thousands of people want that image in their life. Right? These two master their tools. Right? And it takes a lifetime. It doesn't just like you graduate, you get a diploma or you get a degree and then you can ready to change the world. No, it doesn't work like that. So be in the system, practice to be a good landscape architect, and be ready for any opportunity, see the opportunity, and choose the hardest way. That it doesn't mean you like in terms of like I'm choose why do I have to be like tough and suffer? Choose the one that make you learn, make you earn your strength. And only crisis reveal your strength. So it's not about being happy and right, be in your comfortable air condition. Only crisis, only that flood reveal who I am. But you don't need to go and find the crisis. It will come to you. So just be ready, master your tools, and be in the system to change.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you, Koch. Thank you. Anyone else have any questions?
So what is one small act that we can all do today to help promote a better water future?
Please. One small act today that in your opinion can help all of us have a better water future. One act lang.
Yeah, I think, for me, you decide if you harvest the rain in your house. Because we have, in the Philippines, we have 9 months of rainy period. And we disregard the rain. And we pay the bills every month. But if you harvest the rain, you can save a lot of money and you have control over your water supply.
Thank you. Give him a hand, please. All right. Rose, what's the one thing that you think we can do today?
Do your share. I think I share the same with Rainik. Do my share. Personally, I do my share. Rain collection in my own home. So
And what do you do with the rain that's collected?
I can use it for washing, flushing the toilets. It's very, very simple, but it can be a big help to all households if we do the same. We have our own, we're into socialized housing. And we're convincing our residents if they can do just simple thing, rain collection.
Wonderful.
It will be less expense.
Hi everyone, nice to see you all. I would say learn a bit more. Learn about this. There is no easy solutions to anything we do. What we could start by doing is just learning. Like what is happening, right? If you probably all thought that we will say, turn your faucet off while brushing your teeth, right? Yes, that's an obvious solution, but learn why. Ask the whys so you understand nothing in life is an easy solution. As you all go out into the real world, like Koch was saying, right, and engage with the system. I think that's the best thing you could do today to understand what we are doing. And that's the reason to do these talks as well, right? This is a small drop to help you understand, wow, there's so much inequality in water distribution. Right? And then we are the privileged people here, and therefore we should learn a bit more about why this is happening. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, one of the things that that our team talked about is the concept of patak-patak. You know, that each one of us is a droplet. It's a patak. You know, and if there's anything we can do in our house, in our communities, that can just help, then collectively we can make a difference. Okay? All right, last words from you, Koch, as to what you think we can do as individuals to help make this a better world for water, as far as the water advocacy is concerned.
Yes, I want to share this two images to you. It's the best innovation that promotes at COP. It's called Climate Work Company. They probably dislike me. So this thing is the tool that sucks the carbon. So this is a thing that sucks the carbon into the ground. And it's like the innovation, multi-millions, maybe ADB also part of the investment in this innovation. So I think people are really fall in love with this crazy innovation, the AI things, and many are based on the fear-based solution. You know, like I don't want to get wet. But this is often the picture I show to my community. If you get this multi-million budget, this is what the life you're gonna get to you and your daughter. Maybe it's like the big dam and waiting to be flooded. This is the picture from New Orleans, actually. So I use this a lot in the US, that we don't want to be like you. So this is another thing. But this thing is only equivalent 870 cars per year. Shh. Exactly. But how much does it cost? And maybe in the future, your government might buy some of this thing to install in the city, in the forest, right? And they have a bigger version. It's equivalent to 7,800 cars. So they try to beat the carbon. But my answer to Suzanne is, why don't we invest in this? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, this is give you clean air, life, dignity, food, and suck the carbon. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So maybe if there's anything, one thing all of us can do today is to plant a tree. Find the time, find maybe, you know, well, I previously came from the ABS-CBN Foundation, and we planted trees at the La Mesa Eco Park. Of course, not all the trees that you plant also grow. So you have to make sure that you have to plant at least 5 or 6 trees in order to make one of the trees possibly grow. So if there's any way that you can plant a tree somewhere in your communities or in your province, please do that. So today, we had 4 main objectives. One was to inform, and I think we did that. Hopefully you walk away today with some additional information that you didn't know when you walked in here. Number 2, we aim to inspire you, and I hope that the work of Rose, Rainick, and of course, Koch inspired you that although this is a very complex problem, there are solutions that can be seen in one lifetime. So be inspired, walk out of here, continue to dream and hope, because it can happen. The other I is interconnect. And so I loved our exercise this morning where we got to know each other a little bit more. Some of us will be staying behind. Please feel free to come and volunteer, share your time, and more importantly, come back next Saturday. We're going to be here for the next 11 more Saturdays, so we hope to see you here. Next Saturday will be Ego Lemos. He is coming from East Timor. He is a Magsaysay awardee, and he won the prize because of his passion in helping farmers through permaculture. So if you want to get to know more about Mr. Lemos, he's also a singer. So just like many of us Filipinos, he will be bringing his guitar, and we danced this week. Next week, we're going to be singing. So please come and join us. And last but not least, so we informed, we inspired. 3 is we interconnected. And last but not least, we really want to impact change. We want to make sure that we do something to make your communities, make our country, make Asia better. So please do whatever you can to make that happen. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day here at the Ayala Museum, and we hope to see you again next week.